To fully understand the scope and complexity of the Ummo mystery, we need to go back to where it all began, in Madrid, Spain in the mid-1960s. The key figure involved was Fernando Sesma, a Spaniard who claimed to have been in contact with extraterrestrials from Venus and Mars since the 1950s, as well as other inhabitants of the solar system. Then, along came the Ummites.
En fait, Sesma, le groupe de Sesma, de la baleine joyeuse...
In actual fact, Sesma's group, the Happy Whale Club, existed long before the Ummo mystery began. Sesma was interested in extraterrestrials and other esoteric subjects. A group of people would come to listen to him tell stories in the basement of a coffee shop in Madrid, where there was a huge smiling whale painted on the wall. Sesma was contacted by telephone on January 14, 1966. He then began receiving letters confirming the existence of Ummo and letting him know that the next Ummite craft would be landing in Ummite on February 6th, 3 weeks after the first mail delivery.
C'est-à-dire 3 semaines après le premier courrier.
The letters were sent to Sesma, who spoke about them and mixed up the contents of the letters. Supposedly, the Ummites did not appreciate him mixing things up, so they intentionally began adding technical information to make him lose interest. Sesma was a dreamer, not a scientist. So a lot of the technical information was over his head. Once the letters began to be filled with equations, Sesma started to lose interest, but people were still coming to hear about them, like engineer Enrique Villagrasa and Dr. Aguirre. These gentlemen and others began to receive the letters directly, and gradually they formed their own group, the famous Madrid group. They disassociated themselves from the Happy Whale Club, which continued to show interest in esoteric matters such as planets where butterflies laid eggs that hatched baby ducks. That's the sort of thing that Sesma cared about. After 2 to 3 years, they were no longer interested in Ummo at all. In exchange for a modest sum, Sesma turned over all of his Ummo documents to Fariols.
The Ummite mail packages, which bore an emblem resembling a letter of the Cyrillic alphabet, explained that they had been living on Earth since the 1950s. They were part of a scouting mission sent to Earth from a planet in the Virgo cluster, and the contents of the letters were designed to help advance humanity. The first Ummite packages were received by Fernando Sesma in 1966. He received several dozen letters each year for many years. Over time, the Ummites found other human contacts. Spanish, French, British, and even American representatives began receiving these odd packages. The last Ummite correspondence was received in the mail in 1995.
Something is real until it's proven otherwise. These letters exist. I'm in the process of proving that they cannot stem from a human hoax because of all the ramifications that would involve. The contents of the letters themselves also prove it. I'm telling you that they are alien in origin because I have found strong proof within them to support that claim. They contain 1,345 words and more than 400 expressions, more or less coherent, that correspond to a language system having a base of 18 elements. That's quite something. It's real. And these Ummite reports contain scientific information that we have started to study on the internet. When I say we, I mean a study group that was created to review my work. This group now has more than 100 members throughout the world, primarily university students.